My name is James Williams Jr. I'm going to give you the final video for the night so I can go to bed. Um, Today's show was picked up by Nightline with Lester Holt. Hopefully, I'm saying the right name of the show. We want to first give our heartfelt condolences from Comfrey Having number 2 to late astronaut John Glenn, who passed away. And now I want to get on to my topics, which are the manhunt is over. He was found. He died in wherever they were. Both of the cops from this guy also died. The bad guy apparently committed suicide. And the kid, as far as I know, was in critical condition, who was wielding two knives at a school. The officer's on administrative leave, and I want to get to these things, like right now. So first, let's salute John Glenn in my belly. It's really showing up. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For you are the power, the glory, and the life forever and ever. Amen. That's for you, John Glenn, soldier to soldier. Okay, now let's talk about the two cops who were best friends, both engaged to be married, and killed by a moron. Then the moron didn't have the balls to own his actions, so he killed himself. Suicide by a cop is one thing that people attempt to do all the time to make a statement. Suicide in general is a sin according to all the religious people that I have spoken to. And suicide goes through one person's mind at least 15 times a day. Or 15 times a second. I don't really know. I don't have the statistics on that. I do know that killing two cops and killing yourself, one, that's a bitch thing to do, and it's a bitch way out. And two, families are grieving now, and I ask you all to say a prayer for them as well as I just said a prayer for Officer Glenn. Astronaut Glenn, I'm sorry. And, it's kind of awful. And now I'm going to get to the last topic, which is the most important to me, which is high school bullying and why the kid wielded the knife. So Nightline covered this, and they showed more video on cell phones of how the kid was told he was going to be jumped, so he went to school prepared to do battle. I don't fault this kid one bit because I've been there. I do fault the officer for not having rubber bullets or something, or using the taser. Now these guys on the Nightline show, the guys that were interviewed, said that he was justified in shooting the child, and though the child is in critical condition and he may not make it tonight, I'll have to keep you guys posted if you're not watching already. If you haven't ever been school bullied or bullied in school, you will never know the danger that this kid felt. If you haven't been trained in the military, you have no idea what your fight and flight instincts are. Most people's instincts is to flight, and that means just to get away and run. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a cowardly thing to do. It's not a shame. You know your limits, and you will have your fight or flight instincts. And in the Army, they teach you how to overcome your flight instinct and make you more of a fight instinct. Where, as for regular civilians, some of us got it, and some of us don't. It's just that simple. Half the world has a flight instinct, and half the world has a fight instinct. You have that very few people who have that rational instinct of in between. Should I fight or shouldn't I fight? I like to think I fall into that category because one, I can't run, so I'm gonna have to take that ass whooping like a man because of this hip replacement. And two, I don't so much fear death as fear where I'm going after I die. This young kid has been through so much stuff, and to end his week by getting shot by a cop while he was officially technically the victim because he was being bullied. He was 14, man. 14. I'm 43. I'm like 4 times this guy's age, man. And I think about how it was when I was 14. I think of how many times I've been picked on since kindergarten, if not for my race or my height, for my inability to get girls, and not being on an academic sports team, all the other stuff. That just wasn't my thing. The only friends I ever truly had were comic books. If it wasn't for the X-Men, I would have never learned how to read, or Spider-Man, or Jonah Hex. If it wasn't for them, I had no friends. I celebrate comics all the time because without comics, I probably would have committed suicide a long time ago. Just because that struggle to fit in when you are a child is almost an impossible goal to obtain. And people don't seem to remember that. So tonight I ask you all to please pray for the young 14-year-old kid. And please pray that schools start enforcing the no tolerance for bullies crap. Kids need to feel safe at school. Teachers need to say stuff when they see a kid getting picked on. They need to step up and say stuff. And that was my case. My teachers never said shit. And that's probably how this kid feels. The teachers just keep turning a blind eye. And maybe it's out of fear. Or maybe it's because of regulations and you're not really defending yourself. When they started having cops in school, you knew something was going wrong. When I went to grade school, there were no cops. When I was in the middle school, I saw the first presence of a cop. But he wasn't there as a cop, you know. And then by the time I got to high school, CHS had a cop on staff at all times. I salute you, Officer Bob Romanek. And you know, you can't just go to the cops and ask them about that in class because no one's ever thought about going to ask the cops, is there something you can do about these guys teasing me? And you know, no one wants to seem like they're a wimp, or no one wants to seem like they're the bitch guy in school. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta be the bitch guy and tell somebody. Because I'd rather be ashamed and be known for the guy who snitched on my bullies than the guy that has to come to school and fight every day and have to shoot some damn body or have a Columbine or a Blacksburg. And most of these things happen because no one wants to admit that they're happening. No faculty member wants to say something to somebody else's child. Okay, you are a teacher and they are a student. Your job is to teach them and teach them to get an education and know right from wrong. Well, right from wrong also starts at home. And if you're bullying people, I'm sorry, and I don't give a damn who doesn't like this. If you're bullying people, you, my friend, are a piece of dog shit. You're not even dog shit. You're lower than that. You're the shit that scum produces. So you're worse than shit. And sooner or later, you should know that what happens to you is bound, or what you do to others is bound to come back on you, or the sins of the father is paid for by that of the son. So if I were you, I would think about my children before I bully someone. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2, and I'm a little bit upset. So I want you guys to all have a good night. I want you to pray for the 14-year-old. I want you to pray for the families of the officers that died. I want you to pray for astronaut John Glenn's family. And yes, as much as it pains me to say this, I want you to pray for the manhunted guy whose family he leaves behind, knowing that they have to live with that. And I'm going to leave you with a final thought. My final thought is simple. I don't want to do anything stupid because I don't want my family to live with the burden of me coming out of their family and everyone knowing that I'm a fucking nut. You know what I mean? I want people to think, well, damn, this is your family, so now your family's no good. You know, I don't want people to think about my family like that. So if I'm going to do anything, I'm not going to do anything exceptionally stupid, like hunting down cops and doing stupid shit. I think that what the problem is in the world today is that acknowledgement is not acknowledged. So once we can acknowledge the things that we don't want to acknowledge, maybe we can put a stop to this stuff. But most importantly, we need to change the rules in high school. There should be no tolerance for bullies. If your kid's a bully, he should be homeschooled. It doesn't matter. Bullies go from gender to gender. And if you can't control your child at home or at school, then there should be a place where you can lock them up. I'm sorry, but that is the truth. Bullies need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. There should be a crime against it. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing you.